welcome to another edition of Poly TV show on your darling station, Poly TV Ilaro. And today promises to be an exciting day with all our viewers out there. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do well to go to YouTube, click on the subscribe button, and ensure you turn on the bell notification so that when we post videos, you'll be the very first person to receive such update. I am Samuel Olaniyan.
And I am Damilola Adekune. It's a fantastic moment here on Poly TV Ilaro, and it's Poly TV show, of course. And as you know, we have two segments today, starting from the newspaper front page review, where we're reviewing several papers, starting from the Punch, Vanguard, the Guardian, the Nation, and other papers. Also, on the second segment, which is the center table, we have a very intriguing and a very well discussed topic on our program today, which is building collapse. It's going to be a very great conversation on the program on that segment, center table, and we have an expert to be in the studio by that time to talk more extensively on building collapse. We have to go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll be starting with the newspaper front page review.
Welcome back. You're on to that segment of the program, and that's the newspaper headline review. And this morning we have varieties of newspaper with us today, and we have a whole lot of them. I will be starting with that paper, and that's the Daily Sun newspaper. And we have a lot of stories on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper. And first on the front page, we have the story on the NLC crackdown. Crackdown NLC, Serap sparks tension. It has riders that says NLC gives federal government ultimatum to release Ajero. Meets again today. Claims on arrest plots to scuttle minimum wage implementation. Demands immediate reversal of petrol price to 617 naira per litre. PDP CSOs, others furious. That's on the front page of the Daily Sun.
Federal government exits universities, research grant from TSA. Federal government exits universities, research grant from TSA, and that story is on page 27.
No pardon for those guilty of corruption, says federal government. No pardon for those guilty of corruption charges, says federal government. That's on the front page of the Daily Sun.
26 killed, 163 injured, over 1,000 displaced in Bauchi, Kaduna flood disasters. 26 killed, 163 injured, over 1,000 displaced in Bauchi, Kaduna flood disaster, and that story is on page 5.
Shake up as Nigerian Air Force appoints new branch chiefs, AOCs, commandants, others, and that's on page 26 of the Daily Sun.
Away from the Daily Sun newspaper, we have the Nation newspaper, and there is this bold headline: why Dangote refinery petrol is yet to hit market. Why Dangote refinery petrol is yet to hit market, and there is a rider underneath it: agreement on pricing template between firm governments yet to be reached. That story is written boldly on the front page of the Nation newspaper.
All right, still on the Nation newspaper today, we have a story from the end of the AGF. Yeah, the AGF seeks end to pardon for corruption convict, while Fat Baimi also warned we need law review to stop prerogative of mercy for those jailed for graft. And that's on the front page of the Nation.
Emefiele, court fixes Thursday to hear applications on forfeited assets. Emefiele, court fixes Thursday to hear applications on forfeited assets. That story is on page 5.
Labour leaders released ahead of NLC's 12 midnight ultimatum. PDP Labour Party, others lampoon federal government over arrest. Invasion. That's on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
NNPC ties Dangote petrol price to forex rate. NNPC ties Dangote petrol price to forex rate, and there is a rider underneath it. NNPC begins lifting Dangote refinery petrol September 15 versus begin offloading queues worsen. To get the full gist of that story, go to page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
Gunmen kill Anambra businessman after 10 million naira ransom. Dumps cop in gutter. Gunmen kill Anambra businessman after 10 million naira ransom. Dump cop in gutter. That's on page 4 of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Massive flooding to hit 7 states soon, says government. Massive flooding to hit 7 states soon, says government. That story is on page 12 of the newspaper.
Fuel landing, cost rise. Marketers fear high Dangote petrol price. And it has riders saying the refineries may beat down federal government PMS price. Queues reduce as depot supplies product. That's on page 16 of the Punch newspaper.
Away from the Punch newspaper, I have the Daily Sun newspaper and the bold headline written on the front page of the Daily Sun. Crackdown on NLC, Serap sparks tension. Crackdown on NLC, Serap sparks tension, and there are 4 riders underneath it. NLC gives federal government ultimatum to release Ajero, meets again today. Claims arrest plot to scuttle minimum wage implementation. Demands immediate reversal of petrol price to 617 naira per litre. PDP, CSOs, other furious. That story, if you want to get the full gist of that story, pick a copy of Daily Sun newspaper.
And away from the Daily Sun newspaper, we move to the world of Vanguard newspaper this morning. And on the front page, bandits kidnap nurses, patients, others in Kaduna hospital, and that's on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Bandits kidnap nurses, patients, others in Kaduna hospital.
Tinubu orders finance minister to exclude varsities research institutions from TSA. Tinubu orders finance minister to exclude varsities research institutes from TSA. That story is on page 9 of the paper.
And now to the world of the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper this morning. Rep committee accuses the Bureau of Public Enterprise, that's BPE, of wasting 10 billion naira registering 2 failed companies. Rep committee accuses PBE of wasting 10 billion naira registering 2 failed companies. For more of that story, you can turn to page 9 of the Guardian newspaper.
On page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, looming strike. Labour, security agencies in deadlock over Ajaro's arrest, harassment. Looming strike. Labour, security agencies in deadlock over Ajaro's arrest, harassment. To get the full gist of the story, pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper.
2027, Labour Party strips OT of automatic ticket. Ahead of 2027 presidential election, Labour Party strips OT of automatic ticket. For more of that story, you can turn to page 9 of the Guardian newspaper.
AGF moves to stop state pardon for indicted politicians. AGF moves to stop state pardon for indicted politicians, and that story is on page 3.
And quickly to the world of sports, we have Punch Sports Extra. And here we have a story that says, can Eagles avoid WAP's sting? Eguavon eyes 6 unbeaten run against host. Rwanda striker and Shuti target Eagles scalp. Today, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be facing Rwanda, and in that encounter for the ahead of the AFCON qualifiers. Let's see what happens between the Rwandans and Nigerian national team.
Joshua still has 5 fights before retirement. Joshua still has 5 fights before retirement. That story is on page 2 of the paper.
Bowley dealt blow in Chelsea's stake sale. Bowley dealt blow in Chelsea's stake sale, and that's on the front page of Punch Sport Extra.
Heartland will be ready for Enyimba. That story is credited to Amunike. That story is on page 7 of Punch Sport Extra.
And finally, to the world of Sporting Sun newspaper. Osimhen 100% sure of Lookman as next CAF Player of the Year. Osimhen 100% sure of Lookman being the next CAF Player of the Year. For more of that story, you can grab a copy of the Sporting Sun newspaper.
Ronaldo rates Mbappe higher than Benzema. Ronaldo rates Mbappe higher than Benzema. That story is, if you want to get the full gist of that story, pick a copy of a Sporting Sun newspaper today.
Mikel dismisses suggestions over Osimhen's wage demands. Scout to Chelsea move. Mikel dismisses suggestions over Osimhen's wage demands. Scout to Chelsea's move. And that's on the front page of Sporting Sun.
And with that, we've come to the end of the paper, which is the newspaper front page review on Poly TV show on Poly TV Ilaro. We have to go on a short break. Also, don't forget that we'll be coming back with the next segment of the program, which is the center table, and we're going to be having an expert in the studio, and we are discussing building collapse. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's still the Poly TV show on Poly TV Ilaro, and now we are on to the second segment of the program, which is Center Table. Nigeria in recent times has recorded quite a number of building collapse, which claimed large number of lives and properties running into billions of nairas. Several experts in the building and construction industry have adduced reasons for this ugly trend and suggested means of curtailing it, but it doesn't seem that the disaster is over. And today on Center Table, we have an expert who is in the studio today to talk more on building collapse. We have builder Adewale Olumide Adenaya. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, the presenter. I'm Adenaya Olumide Adewale, HOD Building Technology, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. Thank you. Sorry for coming late. We have a program, the ESA program, that is actually going on. So I have to excuse myself because I'm part of the HOD of the School of Environmental Studies. So that's the reason I'm coming late. I'm very sorry for coming late. Thank you, my apology. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for that. So now let's start. Let's start by telling us what building technology is all about.
Yeah, building technology from the offset, the department is actually started 1982. Well, building technology was actually extracted or established from civil engineering department, and is actually a course that you can actually be on your own when you study it, and it entails so many things. When you are talking about building technologies, you are talking about, you must be able to, as a builder, you must be able to learn how to interpret drawing. You must know what it entails to be you quantify, you look at the way the building is. We are producers. We have the architects that actually produce the drawings. We have the structural engineers that actually do the structural design or detailing of the building. Then we, as a builder, we are the one that will produce the building from the foundation to the roof level to the finish level. When you're talking about painting, electrical. So as a builder, you must be able to know all the aspects. Even we can say we do more of accounting, because when you are doing such a thing, you must be able to know, okay, how much have I spent on a project? How much is this project going to cost me? So when you been awarded a project as a builder, you must be able to know that, okay, am I going to make profit? You are not actually talking about profit. You are talking about the beauty and how the project comes out.
Okay, thank you very much for that. While you were talking, I was going to ask you, you made mention of the fact that builders are the ones that starts from the foundation right to the entirety of the building. I was going to ask, that is the same thing as the bricklayers that we know, because there's this layman definition, bricklayer, okay, builder. Is it? I hope it's not just English or something.
Yeah, but well, when you are talking about builders, that's the reason we have professionals. We are professionals, and we have the bricklayers, the mason. So they are actually they have experience. Okay. When you are talking, as a professional, you cannot do it on your own. You are only a professional that will direct them. This is how you are going to do it. You actually give them the guidelines. Okay, when you want to lay down a foundation, we have different kind of foundation. It depends on the terrains. It depends on the area. Some other people will just tell me, I can do it. We have a lot of people that actually tell me, I've been building for years. I can do it. I can do that. Yeah. But the mistake they are making, and some of our people are making a lot of mistakes because they don't want to involve the professionals. They don't want to pay us. And they start calling, Baba Sikira, when you call Baba Sikira can do it. But there are some other aspects that you need a builder. A professional builders. You can, if you have HND or you have BSc, even if you have masters or you have PhD, if you are not registered, you are not yet practice. You are not yet a professional, a builder. You must go through some certain stages before you can have your seal and stamp, before you can become professional.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for shedding light to that. So now, our topic for today, like we said during the introduction, we said building collapse. Yes, and that will make me ask you this question: what do you think, as a builder, and with your years of experience, what do you think are those things responsible for building collapse during construction and even after construction? And you see some, they're still constructing and then they experience building collapse. What are the causes responsible for that?
Well, thank you. So many things can be responsible for building collapse. One, it can be act of God.
Okay.
Act of God, you can't control it. When you have earthquake, your building can collapse. Yes. You have earth movement, your building can collapse. Yes. But most especially in this country, in Nigeria now, is not act of God.
Shed more light.
Act of man.
You need to shed more light on that.
So many things that happens is because, one, when you are doing construction, we can talk about fake materials.
Okay.
Fake materials can cause collapse. No good supervision can cause building collapse.
Which is a professional aspect you talked
Yeah,
about
that
earlier.
I said.
Yes.
You know, so many people were running away from paying professional builders
Builders, okay.
because of oh, Mulidashi. Please permit me to use my dialect. Mulidashi, I can do it. But meanwhile, they made a lot of mistakes. The mistake is that, okay, we have a lot of things. Even in Lagos State now, I can tell you there are some certain stages. Even if you are going on a first floor, that means the first floor, the second floor, you are going to go through a lot of things. Well, you have to go through you visit the site to know the type of foundation that you are going to use on that site. Because we have so many, we have four type of foundation and two classification of foundation. We have deep, we have shallow. Then under that we have strip foundation, we have pad, we have a raft, and we have a pad.
Which of them is more popular?
Yeah, it's the strip foundation that we use in Ilaro here.
Okay.
Because we have a solid ground.
Okay.
When you have a solid ground, you can just do the normal excavation, then you lay your block bench. But when you are going above a story building, there must be a design. There must be a protocol. There must be, okay, if you are going above a story building, yeah, that is, you have a slab on it. You are using both straight and pad. That is when you have your columns. Your column will give the support to the building. You know, some people will ask, because I've built something somewhere,
yeah,
and you are coming, you are replicating what you build
somewhere.
I can tell you in Ilaro here, if you build at Torita,
it's not the same thing as building at Express.
Even no, the Express is still having the same thing.
Okay.
But go to Bogidi.
It's quite very different.
Kind of
You can see this kind of swampy areas they are in Bogidi, and many of them are facing that problem.
Exactly. Yes.
I was going to find out, sir. You made mention of the fact that many of those issues that we're having are regulations and policy problem. But I was going to find out, as a professional builder, we have some of these. Most people might not have the money to hire a professional builder like you and some other people to help them with their buildings. So how are you trying to help the layman bricklayers also to also impart some of these professional tips to them? Because most people would rather prefer going to the layman bricklayer. And also, you made mention of the fact that we have buildings, at rural areas, villages that are 100 years plus that were built with mud, and these buildings were built by non-educated, illiterate bricklayers. So how are you a builder? How are you able to impart those layman bricklayers to also help in the industry?
Yeah, thank you very much. We are trying to look at the way we can give them training.
That's very nice.
We want to give them training if we have opportunity. We are looking at, in some years ago, I think they organized some training for this artisan, the plumber, the bricklayers and all that. But sometimes I'm going to tell you something. Probably when I was very young, when I started this profession, you are going to meet an elderly people that actually be on the side. Some of them will tell you,
so what are you going to tell them?
That means they've been
building the house before you are being given back to.
So what knowledge are you bringing?
So the only thing, I've learned a lot. Before I came into lecturing, I work with so many construction industry. I work with Costain, West Africa. I work with Mokla. I work so many. And I'm still practicing because people still call me to come and stamp for them, and I will give them a professional advice. You know, sometimes we need registered builders, registered professionals. You cannot take them out of the building profession.
I quickly want to ask this question, sir. I was opportune to see a clip of a builder conference, and one of the lecturers, the teachers, the people that lectured in that conference, they made mention of water. So briefly, in 30 seconds, I want you to also talk about water. You know, water being used to like mix cement and sand.
There is, we have a pure. When you are building, some people will just go into the drain,
just
pick the water and mix. There are some organic in that water that actually affects the concrete, the binding of the concrete. I'm going to chip in something. My PhD is on salts affecting concrete. Salts. That's the chloride penetration in concrete. When you have chloride, what is chloride? Even when you have just put a salt in a particular place, you see the way it will penetrate. It will change the color. It will change the circle of that area. So I'm actually working on chloride penetration in concrete. How do we reduce it? So even water too have effects. And your chloride actually comes from water. Come from water. If you go to Lekki, they are bound to this coastal area, they are bound to salts, and is actually affecting building.
Finally, what's advice for to curtail this building collapse? What advice do you have? Just in 1 minute.
So many advice.
Okay.
Let them involve the professionals. Please, when the professionals are there, take to instructions. And 2, even our government should please use professionals to monitor
their own
the projects they are doing. We have so many young ones now. Yes. What they used to do, even when they get to the site, they will just look at you and tell you, well, you can give us money, and you get away from it. Everything is not about money.
Thank you, sir.
There is life that is involved.
Yes.
Thank you
very much. We just spoke with a builder, Dana, and we're talking about building collapse, the causes, what's causing building collapse we have in Nigeria, and also how to eradicate and stop building collapse from happening subsequently in Nigeria. We just hope that with time, government and also all policy stakeholders are going to come together to do the needful to avoid such collapse. We are coming to the end of this segment. We're still on to Poly TV Show. We're going to show before we'll come back. We're wrapping up the program. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Welcome back. It's still the Poly TV show on Poly TV Ilaro. So we've come to the end of today's program. We had our first segment, newspaper front page review, followed by center table, and we had quite a very sensitive and a very fantastic discussion with builder Adewale Olumide Adenaya, and we spoke about building collapse.
Yeah, and it's common to find a whole lot of buildings collapsing these days, and it made mention of various facts where we talked about quackery, we talked about getting substandard products, we talked about the government, how government policies are affecting a whole lot in the industry, and we just hope that with time, government can do the needful, and also builders and also those who want to construct house. I mean,
especially
exactly. You need to ensure you get the professionals you can
just
pay.
One professional.
So you don't cause yourself a very serious havoc. And this is where we'll be ending the program on Poly TV show.
So before we end, tell me, how was today's program for you?
Yeah, it was definitely fantastic for me. I had enough time getting to hear some things I never knew about building, and I was already considering that, okay, well, maybe I need to go and start my building construction as soon as possible.
And today we have to wrap up the show now. Want to say thank you so much to all the viewer. If you're watching, if you're yet to watch, and if you're about to watch this program, and then you just need us to see us at the end before you go to watch the full program, please do well to comment, share your thoughts with us, subscribe,
share, and subscribe.
Yes, please
and also,
do that.
Please don't forget that we are here because of you all. So keep
Without
sharing.
you out there, we cannot be here.
Definitely, we're here because of you, all our viewers, our fans all over the world. We have some. I think I saw one of the comments on our socials that said he's watching us from Benin Republic. Like I was really excited.
Fantastic.
That's really fantastic. All of you. From Benin Republic, from
Thank you so
diaspora,
much for watching.
Nigeria, Ilaro, Yewa, Ogun State, Lagos, Abuja. We love you all, and also our people here in the Polytechnic community.
We love you. We love every one of you.
All.
Yes.
I am Samuel Olaniyo. See you some other time. Bye for now.
I am Damilola Adekunle. Bye for now. Catch you next time.